Kelly, you're a retired man now, living a comfortable, easy life. But imagine you were still in corporate America and you had an office nemesis. And that nemesis got into a lot of trouble for having paperwork that he shouldn't have had scattered around his desk. Don't you think the first thing you would do is clean up your desk?
Yes, although I was not a tidy worker. So,
Welcome back to Bog Panda, everybody. I am Dr. Mike at Official Pagan on Everything. And joining me, as always,
hi, everybody. This is Kelly at KELLYTHUL on Twitter and Instagram. And we'd really appreciate it if you'd consider subscribing to Bog Panda, home of Hard No, the world's shortest podcast. So check that out. And while you're there, checking out Hard No, the world's shortest podcast, be sure to also watch a few of our other videos on Alice Cooper and a lot on Doom, retro gaming, and all kinds of good things like that. Give them a like or two, leave us a comment. Love to hear from folks. Good or bad. We've gotten some very helpful, constructive criticism recently, so thanks for that. And check out our merch store where we do not accept constructive criticism. Just buy the t-shirts.
constructive criticism. Did I miss that one?
No, I sent you a screenshot of it. It was the Glass Onion show we did where they were like, you guys didn't put in any effort to prepare for this. You just, you didn't really remember. You didn't talk about the specific tweet. You didn't kind of cover what all Ben's disagreements were with it. And in retrospect, we decided on a whim to talk about it because we were looking to do some content, and we just had a couple thoughts. It was not intended to be an in-depth review. It was mostly to kind of jump on some Ben Shapiro concerns that we didn't think were concerns. But that was the constructive criticism we got, which in retrospect, it's like, probably at least having the tweet or set of tweets that he was putting out, showing them on the screen saying, these are the ones we're talking about, would have been better than a little bit. Well, I think he said something about this. so I
That's
found it
fair.
helpful. Yeah.
But honestly, much like the criticism whenever we speak about Amico, I'm not going to pay attention to it or take anything away from it. So tonight, we're actually going to talk about something that is probably more up Ben Shapiro's alley, and that's politics. Because we know, as the first people on the internet to talk about politics, you guys must be pretty excited at what we're going to say here.
Yeah, pretty. It's a gigantic hole in the fabric of YouTube that there is no political content. So we're here for you, folks.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy when you think about it that no one before us has thought of doing this.
Yeah, there's 13 shows on knitting, but not a single political one.
Makes no sense.
Don't even look.
Just take our word for it. Take our and Ben Shapiro's word for it.
There you go.
So we were talking, if you couldn't tell from the little joke in the beginning. Recent months, there's been a lot of stuff about Trump and documents. Trump specifically had checked out some documents that he didn't return. So they eventually raided his compound when his compound. Yeah, let's just go with that. His compound when he refused to return them and took them back. And now Biden, they found some documents in an office of his. Then it came out they found some more documents in another office, and then found some documents in his garage at his house. So it's just not looking good when every couple days there's a new Biden one, when the Democrats have really used this. And I understand the differences between the two, but the Democrats have really publicly used this as a way to flog Trump and make it seem like he would be unfit for another term in office when their guy is doing the exact same thing. So what are your thoughts on this, sir?
Oh, I got lots of thoughts, which my number one being is while I wish no one harm, and this is not an active threat, if the entire political apparatus of both parties could be transported off of our planet to some other planet at this point, and we could start fresh, I am all for it, because I have yet to find one reasonable person in this clown car we call a government, because
No.
they're all horrible. They're all terrible. It depends, and this tribalism of the different folks that have lined up on different sides, that they got to just demonize and attack and go through, and just a blatant hypocrisy. Biden going on and on about, well, I know how to handle classified documents. It's like, really? In your garage, huh? That's how you handle it? And his
Yeah,
powerful
that's the best part, just laying around in his garage.
my garage. Yeah. And his powerful response to it, well, what about those documents? Well, I was surprised. It's like,
I didn't even know they were there. I just throw those things everywhere.
I'm a doddering old man and I have no idea. So it was
Who are you? Get off my lawn.
almost like he leaned into the thing that he's been trying to lean out of for a bit. And then Trump, who has been the one most recently. Oh, by the way, folks, most of what I think Mike and I are complaining about tonight is bad humans and bad human behavior,
yes.
And it's really nothing to do with whatever your political party's agenda is and do. So we're not attacking you. We're not attacking your party.
I have to be honest with you. I personally would not want to identify as a Democrat or a Republican.
I have
at this juncture. There's no good to be had on either side.
There's not a I'm not even asking for a hero. I'm just asking for somebody who's not a hypocritical suckwad.
Just a vaguely competent, reasonable person.
Yeah. That's all. I'll take that. But they don't exist. They're not there. There's something in the water there, because and then there are folks that kind of excel at getting a little quirky, like former President Trump, where he's been working, he's been rolling out different reasons on why those things were down in Mar-a-Lago. And as of this recording, and it'll probably be a little dated, but his most recent one is magic. This is the kind of thing a fourth grader would come up with, and it took him this long, is that he used to collect the classified folders because he thought they were cool. And that's what he took down to Mar-a-Lago, where because they would bring in the classified documents in the folder, but then when they took the papers back, they let them keep the folders, which he thought were cool, as a nice souvenir. And so he said, I have hundreds of these empty classified document folders. And also, and they had other words on it too. It's like do not remove from premises, and I mean, I reuse manila folders, but I think he might have.
Is it sad that I think there could be some kernel of truth to that?
I sure think he's got like any White House ashtrays or towels, or I'm sure he loaded up on all the things you would get there. But yeah, it's just nonsense, and I love, because the again, pick your party. So Party A. When questioned about Party A's president or former president who has classified documents in a place where the classified documents shouldn't be, has no interest in learning more, but gets very interested in Party B's, and then we need to look at those, but then they play the tape back of him going like, nah, I don't think we need to know anymore about it. It's just horrible. And the biggest thing is, not only are they clowns and hypocrites and all that, they're stunningly incompetent. I mean, to have, if you or I had classified or business critical or any kind of information, worked for an employer, and they had stuff to say, this is the secret stuff, this is the stuff that doesn't get out, and we left to go do something else and just managed to take a few of those things with us, we took one of those things with us, we're going to have a problem. And it shouldn't be that hard not to have the Iranian nuclear program brief in your newspaper clippings and your Garfield comic books or whatever is in the garage at Biden's or Mar-a-Lago.
I was going to say, pinned on Biden's refrigerator.
Yeah, this was cool. Yeah. A little gold star on it. Yeah, but I expect more from my representation and the who's ever president of our country than what we have gotten recently. And they're surrounded by people that are even worse. So,
Yeah, I saw, honestly, it's not Biden or Trump. I mean, it is, but the people around them are so much worse than them. I find both of them more tolerable than the people who they surround themselves with. There was someone, and leave it in the comments because I can't remember her name, so I don't want to misattribute it, but one of the higher ups on the Democratic Party, I saw an interview clip, and this was a video. Like, this wasn't out of context. This wasn't. And she said the Republicans, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but the Republicans are only making a big deal about this because we made a big deal about it when they did it. One, it's a big deal. And also, yeah, it's
that's going to happen. Yeah. So
it's and you saw that there was no knowingness in what she said. Like, it didn't nothing washed over her to alert her of the words that were coming out, their meaning, and things like that. There was just no self-awareness whatsoever.
oh, it's like nailed it. Yeah. Yeah. And they're all horrible. And then we go out to the next round, which is now the media. The media or your selected echo chamber that can reinforce whatever your political beliefs are. And so they're all available to you. You have many there to walk among like-minded people and just parrot yourselves, and have fun with that. But the one of the news things, one of an unnamed expert on classified documents in garages was on, and they were talking to him, and they go, so is there any downside to Biden on this? And the guy was like, nope, I can't see a thing. This is all gonna be damaging to Donald Trump. And I'm like, not a thing, nothing,
Nothing.
zero. So this
In his
actually helps
garage,
him.
you say.
And it's just like, oh, and so yeah, and so you can't, if you want to get information to say, okay, so what really, should I be concerned about this? Was this a big deal? How did it happen? You have really no hope of getting credible. You can go to the echo chamber of your choice, and you can get a storyline that will fit what you'd want to have, which either evil intent or innocent and good. But there's like no trustworthy source of news either, except Bog Panda, where we always shoot
Right.
straight.
Obviously, this is the way to go. And you brought up the best part of it, which is, how does this happen? Because I feel like if I were to go to an office building, if I worked there and I tried to roll a desk chair out with me one day, I would be stopped. So how would you walk out of the White House with classified documents? Either one of them walk out of the White House with classified documents. And it might be scary. And I'm not talking about the documents themselves, but it might be worse in the Biden case because you have the people from the White House saying they didn't know they were missing in that instance, as opposed to with Trump. Like, they knew he had the reason that they raided Mar-a-Lago is they knew there were documents that he had checked out and not returned. So they were looking for something specific. Whereas with him, they were just like, we didn't even know these were missing. That doesn't make you feel good.
No, it doesn't. And it also kind of doesn't make you feel good to say they found this out on November 2nd, and we don't hear about it till months later, the first batch, and then we started going, oh, then there's another one, and there's another one. So it's not good. Now I do think there is a thing about volume that the 2 or 3 empty file cabinets that are as Trump whisks away, they go, hey, wait a second. that might have been a little more helpful, since Biden appears to be more of a petty criminal, if you will, when it comes to
Obama was just using them for kick me signs that he would put on Biden's back. When he got home, his wife would rip them off and throw them in the garage.
Yeah, that's what if we had actual investigative reporting and true people that would find the news. This would be awesome to find out at the end of the day that this was Obama just jacking with Biden. He's just packing his stuff up. He goes, oh, Joe, I'll carry this box out for you. Slides a couple of them in there. This might be fun later. But we'll have to see on this. But Yeah, so it's a mess. So we just wanted to, I think, air our grievances with the world a little bit on this. Uh, ask the folks in Washington who are all idiots and they won't be able to do this, but if you could, maybe manage this stuff. If it's important stuff that's like secret, manage it. Keep track of it. Don't let it roll out in a moving van. These are things you could maybe do.
Yeah. maybe keep that kind of stuff secure. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. Keep track of it. Have a sign out sheet that you just need. It's like, hey, wait a second. But I don't know. It's not. Yeah. And the biggest disappointment is what a great. Of course, that whoever's like the reasonable person doesn't make for good TV. But, but I'm just waiting for that one person to go, well, I don't really care whether it was Biden that did this or what Trump did. My bigger priority is why is this happening? What
Right.
do we need to do?
How can this happen?
All right. Maybe that's where it would be a good starting point, and then you kind of deal with the other things. But um, I don't know. So
Yeah, and this kind of goes back to, when Trump in the glory days of Twitter, when Trump was freshly elected and just going crazy on his late night tweeting sprees and stuff like that. How was he in charge of his own social media account? There was a time when I wasn't allowed to be in charge of my own social media accounts when I got my first like major label record deal because they were like, "You're stupid, and we'll screw all this up somehow."
yeah, well,
He was the
I support
president,
that. I think they were on point there. you know,
but like he was the president. They don't have that guy for the president.
yeah. Well,
Maybe a little bit important than some random dude in a band. I don't know.
you were surrounded by what you might call mildly competent people. So one of the mildly competent people said, "You know what? This is a time bomb over here. Let's get that out of his hands." Whereas, to our earlier premise, our government is full of idiots and clowns, and they hire people like themselves, and so there is not a reasonably competent or moral person to be found. So there you go. First one shows in the comments. If you guys want to let us know, say this person's not a knucklehead. I'm open. I'm willing to listen. Haven't heard from them, whoever they are.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that. They're not making enough. They're not getting enough attention. They need to steal a few documents.
Yeah, you do something. Say, hey, I'm not a
Jump on this
knucklehead.
bandwagon.
So or just say they did, so they can get the people there, and they can say, "No, I didn't do anything," or she can say, "I didn't do anything." But hey, let's get. Here's the problem. This is what we need to be focused on. But no,
I'm just waiting for the next debates when Trump is like, I could have stolen way more documents than Biden did.
my
I'm
documents are
leaving with a couch
valuable.
next time.
Yeah, you go. I'm gonna have 16 U-Hauls rolled up to the White House. It's going to be this river of paper that flows down to beautiful Fort Mar-a-Lago. So
The camera cuts back to Biden. He's napping.
yeah,
All this is happening.
his feet propped up on a box that says, "Top secret, do not remove." Say, oh, I was on that side of the box. I didn't see it. Oh well. Well, I know a lot of you folks have subscribed to us because you were hoping to get this kind of keen insight, but and we'll still, keep waiting, folks. We're going to weigh in on the Electoral College as soon as I can find
Yes.
one other person that will agree with me. But
Anybody to take Kelly's point and
Kelly,
support
yeah.
that.
I'm kind of in the minority here, but I'm sure there's some other reasonable, mildly competent person who could join me in the debate. But
Honestly, I think at this point we need a do-over. We need a hard reset
yeah,
on the U.S. government.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I know the right way to do it. I just know this isn't it.
Yeah. It's kind of like for those of you who have had Windows computers in the past, after a few years, and here after a couple 100 years, uh, things get messed up, and there's files are corrupt and you got all kinds of other things going on. And sometimes the only answer is to kind of clean off the hard drive, do a hard reset, and reload the operating system. And
Yeah.
and I think we're running on Windows 95 here,
Yeah.
and it's not going well.
No, it's time to upgrade. We have run out of those AOL free trial discs a long time ago.
We're not even asking for the most current version. We're just we're just asking for something that works. So, well, it will be interesting to see folks' reaction to
Yeah.
this thing. So, thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.
Bog Panda.